Chow, the Jakiro with a Yule set up for a setup, but it definitely wasn't like a great one until they picked the Storm, which now gives them, well, one of the best Tinker counters in the game.
Indeed. Alright, so I'm excited to see the Dendi Storm. He has made some spectacular plays on this hero in ages past, and to me it's the most important hero in their lineup. Jakiro, if he falls behind, still brings a lot to the table. Drow could feed, but as long as she's just out of the fight with like 4 Wraith Bands and Treads, I think they'll be in okay shape as far as damage goes. Yeah. But if the Storm doesn't have a good game, they just really, it's the linchpin of their lineup, really. The only hero that can shut down the Tinker effectively and reliably. Jakiro is decent, like he said, but
and it's definitely a game where they're going to have to create a lot of space for Havost in the early game, because there's haven't got.
But like, if you pick one to suffer, I would honestly pick Havost over Dendi with this draft.
At least for like the first 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, and the Drow can catch up pretty well later on. She can also take towers fairly quickly. Yeah. So we'll get underway here, gods. Goomba. What's their record, by the way? Do you know?
Not off.
I don't want to make you bring it up. I can look it up, but that's just curious if you know.
We'll see.
Not doing your research. What kind of a caster are you?
You're sitting right next to me. You do your research.
I didn't know I was casting, man.
I didn't know I was casting.
Merlini done. You know, the real reason this is all happening is because a certain Aussie friend of yours might have overslept today.
You just first you fire shots at me for not knowing my research.
Typical Australian.
Okay, you fire shots at me for not doing my research when you didn't do your research. Now you're calling Basekip out for not even being a friend. He's a friend of mine, but not a friend of yours? Where do the shots end, LD?
I just don't want to take responsibility for the non-attendance here, dude.
Look at Twitch chat. Hey, LD. Guess what? I'm doing exactly what you're doing right now, Twitch chat.
Oh, yeah, that's very creative, Twitch chat. You know what?
that one's for you, LD. I cut away just as the game
I think I know what side Twitch chat is going to take, since I directed my animosity at them, and you're sucking up to Twitch chat. See, I have morals here and some backbone.
Hey, I'm standing up for my good buddy Basekip, who may have bailed on us.
In his defense, he asked for a replacement, then he said he would. Then he said, "Oh, you can't buy one. All right, I'll gut it out." But that sweet comfort of bed, too much for him tonight. All right, here we go. So runes are going to spawn. It's a bounty for the offlane Jack. That's nice.
Regen's such a dud level 1 rune.
Yeah, you'd rather have the bounty there for sure.
Right. Yeah, haste, DD, illusion, anything invis. The one level 1 rune that does almost nothing in any situation.
So they're going aggressive. This is a very, very strong offensive tri-lane, but also pretty damn squishy. You've got the Ogre to hopefully soak up damage in the front, but if it ever comes to those backliners, especially that Visage, man, just such food.
Straight up into the aura for Havost, so no Frost Arrow, no Silence, which is, I think it's okay, but it's, I think both him and Visage, like preemptively leveling up spells is maybe something you want to try avoid, but not the end of the world.
So what are the other lanes? We're going to have an Elder Titan versus Jakiro and a Tinker versus a Storm. Yeah. Generally a matchup that Tinker dominates hard in the laning stage, and I actually haven't seen too much Elder Titan versus Jakiro. I would guess it's fairly decent for both heroes, maybe a slight edge to the Jakiro.
Yeah.
But I mean, Elder Titan's going to spam and get his farm anyway.
Jakiro 1v1 against melees is not normally much fun for the melee hero, but
he has good regen.
Yeah.
He probably goes for like either the Tranquil Soul Ring or maybe even just goes up for a bottle here early on.
I think the core Elder Titan in a 1v1 needs the bottle maybe more for the HP and mana.
Tranquils are pretty bad against Jakiro as well. That's the other thing.
You go for the Tranquils, it gives you HP regen, but then you have to farm a Soul Ring, so it's a lot of money to invest. Like, it takes a long time to get there, whereas the bottle's just like a cheap 700 gold.
And the Tranquils are always disabled in lane, though you still get that move speed bonus later on for the Spirit when you're not in fights. But yeah, tri-lane versus tri-lane, I guess we haven't really talked about this lane. Who do you give the edge here to? It's the Luna, Ogre, Visage. That's actually a decent offensive tri-lane, but on the other side we've got a Drow tri-lane with 3 ranged heroes. So do you have a favorite here?
I think it's pretty even. No?
I haven't seen either of these tri-lanes before.
Yeah, it's like the killing potential's there for Goomba, but if Navi just sit back and then Goomba try and force a kill, I could see Navi turning it around, even though they have the weaker tri-lane in the sense they have less killing power. But Navi are just going to sit back, go for pulls, and just respond to any aggression by trying to keep whoever gets initiated on alive while going for a kill of their own on someone like a Visage who's so squishy. Like
by the way,
with
Chad is completely turned against me.
Yeah, that's my Twitch chat. That's my boys.
All right,
so what's up?
Dendi actually doing very well early on. He's 8-3 against a Tinker. 7 and
Yeah.
3 Tinker. All the nerfs to Tinker, I mean, I don't think any of them actually affect his laning stage, really. It's more... It's the E-Blade that got changed. What were the other changes? The Ancients no longer... Or, well, magic immune units in general can't be hit by March.
March machines, but...
There was some... I think there might have been 1 or 2 other things that changed, but those were the big ones.
Laser didn't get changed with like the miss rate and everything it does, which was...
That was one of the things that people were proposing as a fix to Tinker.
See, I didn't mind how good you could farm with March and stuff and kill Ancient stacks, but he was just so dominant in 1v1 matchups because of the laser miss, although...
And normally you just get... Well, normally you would see the value point, and you get that same miss chance at all levels, so you didn't have to level it up. But we have seen... the few Tinkers I've seen, gods have mostly gone for the laser rocket build, at least early. I don't see many Tinkers level up March early on. So.
Yeah,
you can still farm the normal jungle camps if you don't get mud golems, but I guess it's kind of risky.
We've gone full circle. This was the like original when Tinker was back in Dota 1 popular. You'd only see the laser missiles build.
It's the more fun build, but it can also just turn into a disaster for him.
Yeah. Like you want to be able to get some kills here or there, at least to zone out the enemy mid laner using your nukes so that you can crush them on CS. But Denny so far is doing just fine. He's bottle crowing, which is kind of the reason where this build for the Tinker fell off. You can do all the damage in the world, but if you're opposing mid heroes just bottle crows, they can do just fine.
Yeah, Storm can farm with Remnants, so that's part of the reason I think why we see Dendy CSC well, but at the same time you walk into drop a Remnant, you get lasered, you get potentially rocketed, you get right-click. Tinker has really good base damage as well, so...
Tinker level 5 now and he's got Dendy down to half HP. This is where Dendy can't go for last hits.
Yeah, that's kill range. He has to wait for the bottle.
Yeah. And he'll get his bottle back and immediately has to chew through all his charges.
But he is CSing very well. And, there's your bottle.
So Dendy ideally wants a rune. He's not going to find it. He's going to have to just keep bottle crowing. He's going to immediately go through all his bottle charges, then just have to send it back.
What an asshole.
This is what you do as a Tinker, but it's still not going to win you the lane. Like Dendy gets small windows where he can farm.
Almost as much of a dick as Twitch chat.
You've started, if 2 minutes time that they've stopped spamming it, you know they're just going to start right up again, LT.
No, they have. There's been no halt.
Yeah, but you even know they could take a turn. Havos, like right now, Havos is gonna just Rambo in and feed, and then suddenly they've changed their spam to the 4 feed. You know, that's how Twitch chat goes.
Yeah, well, with nothing much going on,
you're gonna channel their anger.
Yeah, Twitch chat is like the tide. You know, you can't stop the tide, but you can just kind of go with it and maybe slightly alter the course. You know, it's just it's a current. You can't fight it.
You've even got fogged in there now. Now you're totally screwed. As soon as a mod or player starts spamming it, you're done for. So yeah, I don't know. I was gonna talk Dota for a second, but there's nothing happening.
Yeah, I'm just looking at these HP bars in the top lane. Nobody's really dropping low. Mid lane, the Storm's a full HP.
Looks like his macro pie comes out.
It's got like a 1 minute cooldown. It's just a farming macro, probably.
He's got the Tranquil Sage's Mask, and it was the bottle boost. Yeah, I think this is the right build for Eldertime. It's the right build for Jakiro. Jakiro doesn't really need the extra HP mana regen that the bottle gives.
Oh, I mean, you've got one spell that doesn't cost any mana, your best spell, and they're going to go for a sleep here into a stun. That guy's squishy, but so too is the Drow Ranger. Who gets the kill first? It will be Navi. Nice first blood. They'll pay with Havos' life. It looks like it's a 4-for-1 exchange as they look to make this potentially a 2-for-4 exchange. There you go, a 2-for-5. Make it a 2-for-6. What a win for Goomba.
All right.
There you go.
That's the hasted Tinker. This build, you've got to go for those early ganks and go for any rune you can. Hope for something like a haste or an invis and find the early rotations, even before Boots of Travel. And Tinker helps his team out. So tri-lane 1 for Goomba. Oh, yeah, I'd say we could call that a win.
Yeah, you got Havos, man. But I actually think it's okay if Drow dies this game, honestly. You have 5 ranged heroes for the Drow, so... Oh, just getting pulled in mid lane. They're going to follow this up with a magic missile from the low ground. Dendy will try to go to work. Not enough damage.
That was very close to a kill on Dendy. He had Dendy down to 300 HP after the Soul Assumption. Dendy bottles up and managed to dodge the laser, so... Almost a turnaround.
I think it was actually a 1-for-6 earlier.
Sorry, I didn't...
It's hard when you introduce the 4 element. You introduce the 4 element, things get a little messy. Funnick will get stunned, and... That's a nice pick-off here, especially when you consider Jakiro is 41 and 17, really good level progression, and that swings right back the other way. Good early rotations from Goomba, and Well, and that RMN is level 7 at 7 minutes as an Elder Titan. He is in full-on beast mode already.
And they open up the top lane for the Luna to take the farm and maybe even go for a push here, but Elder Titan's kind of... Well, he's actually got good, he's pretty good for mana, so... With 4 heroes up, you'd think they maybe want to try and pressure the tower. Navi do not have a good tower defending lineup. I guess the Jakiro can come up, throw a Macropie with all his levels, but that's about it as far as what they have to offer.
Storm doing well, 37 in total. I mean, he's just really crushing him, actually. I'm amazed that Exist is getting out CS already. He has gone for a few runes.
Yeah.
And he is using laser purely to harass Dendi, so he's not... I guess he's not really securing extra CS with it, but still, that's just very impressive. Dendi, I mean, say what you will about Dendi as a solo mid, but I don't think anyone argues that he's one of the very best laners in the world, if not the best, and continues to show it here.
This last game is just insane. Denies more than most players will bottom lane. They're actually going to catch the Bane who walked up there, so... Going for a rune anyways, and Bane just caught out wrong place, wrong time. Jakiro going to at least scout out the top regen rune, which it seems that's the exact rune you want to leave for your Storm Spirit.
Just like me.
Well, in good news, they have made that rotation top for the Luna, get some pressure on the tower. She is farming well. Brace her up, has her level 6 coming soon. They're going to go here on the bottom lane onto Mr. Havos. The Spirit continues to follow the Rockets. Here's the kill, and that's, of course, the amazing combination we have not yet talked about this game is the Elder Titan plus Tinker.
Yeah.
You can TP to the Spirit, even after they fixed the Spirit bug. That was not touched, so 300 gold off from Pain. He's going to have rearm by that time. He's already level 8.5. This Tinker is going to get out of control really quickly, and as we were discussing, there's some squishy heroes this game. Storm, Venge, even Bane is not that tanky if he doesn't get up Brain Sap, and if you get like one stun, Laser Rocket, he may just die before he casts a spell.
And it amplifies the damage as well with the natural order.
Oh yeah.
Everything about the Elder Titan with the Tinker is just fantastic, so... We'll see how Vol's trying to zone out at this bottom lane with this triple Wraith Band build, and this is, I think, the right kind of build to go for, because you need all the stats and HP you can get in the early game. And this is where it's going to be okay if he dies once or twice, but twice to create space for the Storm Spirit, because he can go for these more cheap, cost-effective items, but eventually he's going to need a transition into some late game.
Well, Dendi now on the move. He's smoked up. Did he actually buy the smoke for himself, I'm wondering? Not sure, but he'll zip in top lane. And it does have Eclipse. There's no real defensive supports to keep her alive, and it's a nice takedown for Dendi. He'll pop his regen rune. He might even look to go back in, though. Ogre is not the hero you want to jump on. No, he's going to TP bottom.
Definitely saying
great movements by Dendi. If he gets the secondary kill, that would be huge, but
yeah,
unfortunately there's no one here to snipe out.
We'll see. Elder Titan's way back, and yeah, it looks like the kill will not come as Dendi moves forward, so could have maybe gone mid for the Tinker, but I think he felt that the bottom lane was the more likely kill. But hey, they'll get a tower instead, which is, at this point, pretty useful for them. Havos even picking up the last hit.
Yeah, I like the way they're spreading the map here. Goomba are going to be stronger in a larger team fight with the Eclipse, the Elder Titan, and just the mass nuke power of the Tinker, but Navi excel at these little pick-offs, spread the map. They have the Drow so they can split push towers, and we will see a rotation here coming top. 3 heroes going after Captain Funnick. Could be in trouble. TP out, quickly attempted, Rocket, not in time.
Yeah. And Bane TP, he could almost gone for the Bane there as well, with Tinker still having at least a laser, and he's got boots of travel now, so that's going to be flying out. And Goomba looking pretty good here. They're up 7 kills to 2. Gold Draft actually favoring Navi as far as the farm goes, and also picking up that early T1 tower at bottom lane. Storm not going to find anything here. He has a DD rune, so if Goomba get too close to him, he will be looking for some kills.
Yeah, Elder Titan might be a bit tough, but with a +1 they can definitely get that.
I think you're going to TP the tier 2, and they want to defend the tier 1, but they've got to stay far away as possible from Dendi.
Yeah, he's still chilling. Rocket's going to come in. Will he zip to dodge it? No.
They scouted out the Venge here, and Dendi's just focusing the tower. Glyph comes in, and I don't think he can get this.
Dendi a bit early. Gotta be careful.
Doesn't get the last hit, and now could be in some trouble. The missile going to get dodged, and Natural Spirit still flying through. Is there a rearm?
They're gonna have vision. But yeah, no soul ring. Meanwhile, top lane. We'll find pressure here as well. They're gonna take down that tier 1. Yeah. So it's a 1-for-1 tower exchange, or sorry, 1-for-2 actually overall, but with the deny going the way of Goomba. So they have the potential here to pull ahead in gold.
This Luna's really low level is one of the big things that Goomba needs to try and give this, like, I'd almost just go for like a Helm of the Dominator so you can jungle farm, because you need solo XP, which you can't really get in the lane against a Storm Spirit.
The problem is that the supports on this team also need levels. Visage is actually doing pretty well, level 6.
Yep.
And Ogre is level 6, so yeah, they just need to give her a lane and protect her with like a lane ward or something.
Yeah, because it's always so hard to catch up against Storm, because you try and solo farm to get your solo XP, you get picked off, and
you go into the jungle, well, Dendy's probably going to smoke and hunt for you anyway.
He can find you.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Thirdly, he's one of the solo mid players that likes to buy personal smokes the most. Is Exist will get caught out on the bottom side of the map. Dendy going for the first that initial overload proc, but he gets destroyed! Oh, the huge high ground plays from your Ogre, McGee.
I think multicast or not, that's still a kill, because Tinker didn't even laser, he just used the missiles. And the Ogre Magi, even with no multicast, gets that kill. That was... not Dendy being cocky, he didn't see those two supports, but good play from the Goomba supports.
Oh, this might be a death for the Luna, though. They kind of need that exchange with Dendy going down. And
level 4 on the Bane, it's the Radiant supports who are really struggling here. Both their supports level 4, meanwhile Goomba, level 7 Ogre. Radiant's level 6, this is really bad for Navi.
Yeah, Goomba just got more. They got involved in more kills on those highly leveled heroes. I guess they got the Jakiro kill top earlier, and that made a big difference for them. So, let's see. They're gonna defend this tower. 3 heroes rotating in. Meanwhile, 2 pressing on the bottom lane for Goomba. And I wonder where Navi go. Do they just try and 5-man top? Because there's a lane ward. Well, not a lane ward, but a ward near the lane, I should say. And
yeah,
this is gonna spot out all the heroes. So a lot of wasted time for Navi. It looks like, as 3 are tucked behind the tower.
And you know Dendy TP top, because he got back right after dying so fast. They know his TP's on cooldown, it gets them the bottom tier 1 safely, Elder Titan getting that. So they can take the tier 1 Goomba and then TP top to defend at the same time. This is just, they're just outmaneuvering Navi thanks to some of their ward vision.
Missiles coming through again. Dendy is not having fun this game, and it's tough for the Storm. They don't even really need to stun him, they can just nuke him down. He tries to walk in, a missile hits him, he's done that. Help, Godblack will be next, as Dendy will drop around him. He's gonna have to zip far away to get out. That means out of mana for the tower defense, and this is one of the areas where Navi is weakest, is if they have to defend a tower.
Yeah.
What do they have? They have Jakiro, that's it.
And they're going to be chipped away at. Like, you can throw the Astral Spirit plus Tinker missiles at any heroes nearby the tower from really far away, and you're going to be defending the tower with like supports on half HP, which just doesn't work. So, from more ways than one, this Navi tower defense is going to be a big struggle.
Alright. It's looking pretty good here for Goomba overall, I gotta say. Havost is farming very well. That's good news. Mask of Madness out. Both teams have pretty good Roche lineups, so that's an area that they'll have to keep an eye on. If Goomba get an opening with the Familiars, the Bloodlust, the Luna, it's a pretty easy Roche, and same for Navi with the Drow and the Jakiro Venge, so... Neither team really in the right position to do it, but it's more if they win a fight or take like the tier 1 mid in the case of Goomba, then they may just mosey on in.
I think it's for Navi, especially with the Drow. If they were on the Dire, they'd be like, okay, we can try and sneak a Roshan to help with the catch-up process, but they're on this Radiant side, so doing so is going to be a lot trickier.
Goomba's team fight is still looking really strong. Picking up the mech, and you gotta remember this Drow, just if she's actually in the fight, is probably not offering much.
Yeah.
1,000 health with Mask of Madness, you turn that thing on, 1 Astral Spirit, laser, Fire Blast, you're just dead.
I've also at least farming ridiculously well. Top net worth, he's actually level 11.5, higher level than Dendy, after Dendy had a few failed ganks where he died, so, well, just the one where he died at bottom lane, but...
The one thing I worry about is, like, is this a game that Drow can carry? Because you go into the mid-game, the Spirit's going to be hunting you, Tinker can just TP onto the Spirit and jump you once he gets his core items out, and the Visage Familiars can always try and... They're just really good against squishy heroes in the backline, because they can always just kind of, you know, flank around, swoop in, get off that initial stun, and then just blow you up.
No, it's definitely a BKB central game. Like, I imagine Avost goes like a BKB Blink type build, maybe. He's bought something. What's he got? Oh, yeah, he's working on a BKB.
Yeah, I agree. That's a really good choice this game. Lets him man up against the Luna Eclipse, against the Tinker nukes. Yeah. That will be a time where Navi's very strong. Havost getting BKB, Dendy may be finishing the Orchid shortly thereafter.
Yeah, these items are going to be coming at a fairly similar time. Dendy's Orchid you'd want maybe a little faster, but...
The good news for Goomba is they can split push pretty quickly with the Luna. Oh, not when this guy's died. Easy takedown there for Dendy in the top lane. We'll farm some Familiars. Can't resummon them because he's dead.
Alright, extra 200, so that's a pretty high value kill. Meanwhile, at the bottom river, Bane getting picked off. Same places. I missed 2 kills and it was both this silly Bane.
If they delete that part of... So if we delete the Bane from the game...
Delete Bane, delete Goblin.
Then you'll never miss a kill again. Alright, there we go.
There we go. Well, DD Rune, and that's...
I was gonna say a fairly even trade, maybe a slight win for Navi, but getting this tower, that's a big win. Especially against, as you mentioned, the Luna, who really just wants to be off the map, farming the jungle. Can still go to those Ancients a bit, but even there, the tier 1's down, and they have good heroes to kind of snipe them out. Well, smoke RMN. Very. And he's supposed to under a Radiant Ward as well.
It's the fluff and stuff smoke. But, like you say, it was under a ward, so...
Well, as long as he doesn't die, they're not going to know where he planted the wards, I guess.
Yeah, he gets one down, and we'll see if he can do a bit more with this. I feel like these are super deep wards.
What is the point of these wards, though? Like, so you can...
Courier snipe?
Yeah, courier snipe.
I'm like, that's what I'm thinking, like, courier snipe, but that's not going to win you a game or even get you much out of it, so... I think these wards are a bit over the top. For one thing, they overlap a lot with their vision.
They just don't have the best lineup to abuse them. The familiars are really good for it, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Tinker is definitely not going to just like YOLO in there, even if he's got something to TP to in the neighborhood.
I don't know. I think you're better off trying to... You want to ward somewhere like up near the top near your own jungle, because that's where Navi are going to be in your jungle, like exactly what Dendy's doing now. And I think even having a ward in the Radiant jungle would be okay, but... Yeah, not a fan of these wards.
Navi 3-1, looking to improve to 4-1 here. They are 3-10 in this game, but in terms of the kill score. But in terms of actual net worth, I think it's even a Navi lead if we're close to it.
Decent sized lead as well. So
Havost has done a magnificent job of farming this game. Especially considering what he was up against an aggressive tri-lane. His team was under the gun early, and they did end up getting the first blood on the Visage, but Havost died immediately after that, so he didn't have it easy early gun. Yeah, he's a comeback player.
He's doing what the Luna is not doing, which is just finding a ton of farm in the jungle as well as...
Sonic in a bit of trouble. Tinker looking for that secondary missile. He won't get it, but he does get that in that laser follow-up. Scores your kill on the Bane, and then he's able to just mosey on back to the well, so...
You know, it's not just the Astral Spirit. You can TP on the Familiars as well this game.
Oh yeah, that's another annoying thing they have.
And those don't expire, so you can send those off on little missions across the map without Visage being nearby. So almost in some ways safer than the Spirit. The Spirit's a bit nicer because of the damage amplified, but very annoying. I think we get this one.
Yeah, this Tinker is pretty poor.
Yeah.
You remember when we used to see Tinker all the time? He would always be on top of the net worth chart, even if he was feeding. Yes, it just doesn't seem to be. I think I've seen 4 or 5 pro Tinker games, and not one of them has he been the most farmed tier. Actually, no, that's not true. The one that IG played he was, but that went like 60 minutes, and he didn't end up carrying anyway, so...
This is another Go Black feat.
Run, little bottom tower.
It almost feels like this is a hero that has to get things done early. As weird as that sounds. Just when you have your Max Laser Rock and your Boots of Travel, Soul Ring, Bottle, like you're so strong at that point, but... Well, we'll see. Maybe the rest of the team can just keep them in this game long enough for him to get the next 2-3 items. It just takes a lot longer than it used to.
Oh, I think they ping Havost and see him, but he's got BKB. They make their way into the enemy jungle. This is another opportunity to do some warding if they've held.
Meanwhile, Navi also smoking. This could be really bad for someone. Not sure who yet.
Havost doesn't really want to walk into Roshan because he's not smoked, and there's always that high chance of ward.
Here we go.
They go on first. Havost the BKB can just turn and fight this one. There's just Lucent Beam and Eclipse from the Luna. They block the Vengeful Spirit as well as the Bane to start things off, but Havost has not been dealt with. In BKB form, he kills 2, Luna as well as Ogre. Tinker's looking for the kill now. The laser, he keeps raising his arm. He can't find the vision he needs. Now gets hit by an Ice Path as well. No stomp from the Elder Titan as the silence come into play, and Drow's going to escape. Nice
Storm. He's looking for an opening on the backside. He already got the Visage. Can he make his way out? Dendy gets the return kill, and now the Familiar's trying to hunt him out, but he should be able to zip to safety.
Wow. Havost came up big in that fight with that BKB.
Everybody else just got destroyed by the Elder Titan, Astral Spirit, Natural Order, and Eclipse. That is... I mean, that's where Goomba... You could see their team fight is, on paper, just flat out stronger, but... They couldn't kill Havost. They played it reasonably well. They ran next to him so he wouldn't have extra damage, but he just kind of ran away, and they are lacking on lockdown versus a BKB carrier. So.
If it wasn't nighttime, I think they kill Havost there. Tinker just kept... Twice he went for the laser and kind of got juked, and halfway through cast animation lost vision, so... They didn't have the Astral Spirit up as well. If they had the Astral Spirit up, you have the vision for that laser, so...
As this game goes longer, also BKBs will wear down, and there's no restoring that unless you want to get a refresher, so...
Yes.
And you're not really going to want to walk around with the refresher as a Drow in a team fight, so...
It's with that 10-second BKB, it's like you needed a big fight with it, which he got. I'd say that's...
I'd say it's pretty big too, but it's like... They either need to have a few really big fights and then take... Or they need to take objectives after them to make them really big fights. Otherwise, you go later, and I almost want to say Goomba will get a second Breath of Air, and
Yeah.
It'll be up to the Storm, really, to carry this
Oh,
later
yeah.
on. Don't see the Drow doing it past, like,
Storm and
30,
even,
40
even the
minutes.
Jakiro as far as not so much carrying, but dealing with the Tinker, because Drow's going to get crushed by Tinker in late game, because Tinker is just going to go Scepter and use the Dagon Burst. And like, you can force the BKB just with a Dagon plus laser missile combo, and then...
Then you just jump away, rearm, go again.
You go Scepter, you can rearm during go Scepter, and there's not much you can do about that if you're Havos. Having Aegis is going to be really important for him, which is exactly what Navi has in mind right now.
Yeah, now remember, if you actually get an Ethereal Blade, you don't go Ghost Form, so that is definitely a nerf against this type of lineup. No real Diffusal carriers, and they have a lot of physical damage.
I think Tinker goes to the Ghost Scepter, but maybe doesn't even upgrade to E-Blade until much later on.
Yeah,
Like you can
casual
go
Ghost Scepter would be
into,
really good.
into Hex, I think is solid. He's gonna get at least a Dagon 1, which is maybe even just upgrades Dagon straight up. I think going straight Dagon 5 is probably the best Tinker build at the moment, maybe. Some Tinkers are going like the Bloodstone build more, but it depends. This is definitely going to be a long game if Goomba want to try and win it. If they lose a fight, they can just get straight up racked so quickly. The damage output with Drow Ranger, as well as having the max precision aura and all these ranged heroes, is pretty insane.
Daedalus complete for Mr. Havost.
Why does he only have 1 Gust? This doesn't seem ideal.
How does it scale, actually? It just gets one
Silence
extra point in the
duration.
silence each level?
You get 6 seconds of silence. And slightly better. The knockback duration is kind of like the stun duration. It's sort of a stun.
She is pretty squishy without stats, but...
Yeah. I guess who are you silencing? Like,
Seven
Tinker
in a
you can
row.
silence is there. Tinker actually is going to find a kill. That's a Dendi Storm getting...
Well, that wasn't a Bane God.
I know. It wasn't a Bane. I got no
What's
excuse
your
for that.
excuse this
His
time?
middle tower is all alone in the
We're
world.
gonna try and jump Havost mid, but he's quick on that BKB finger. Oh, mama. Little TP out. Nice little pick off there.
Okay.
They're trading Ogre for BKB charges.
It's almost like an even trade in some ways, though. Like, if you're Havos, you definitely BKB for that kill, because otherwise you're dead, but from Goomba's point of view, it's like, well, it's down to 8 seconds now. It's a win-win. Both teams win.
Yeah, if Havost gets to pad his stats, if nothing else. He definitely needs some stat padding after the past few weeks. Nice try with the last hit there, Vank score. Good effort.
Exist. He's maybe gonna... Havos doesn't have BKB, but he's got the Aegis.
Meanwhile, top lane, our Jakiro being really aggressive. They're trying to backstab with familiars. Here comes the Tinker teleport. He'll self-Yules, but this is only going to set up for the enemy squad. Gets nuked, gets blasted, and gets wrecked as Goomba bringing the hit squad. 4 heroes to the top lane for that.
Cancel the blink with the familiars and couldn't go for the Yules into blink because the Yules duration doesn't reset your blink fully.
Yeah,
So nice
play.
Nice play. Denny will get himself a rune, DD rune. So Denny's had like a DD rune or a regen rune, I feel like, constantly. This could be his 3rd or 4th DD rune this game.
They've done a great job of keeping the lanes pushed in. And, I mean, part of it is that Goomba doesn't feel that safe. You look at the map right now, they actually have decent wards on the side of the map, but they're just lacking towers, so...
Yeah.
Map control for them, some of those deeper wards they placed earlier didn't really help them, and...
Even these wards again, like, maybe it helped. They took this tier 1 bottom tower ages ago, I thought.
It doesn't make you feel safe to go and farm, like,
Yeah.
1,000 units away from your tower. It makes you safe if the creep waves, like, pass there, you know, and then you want to, like, maybe make a little foray into their jungle. But they can't get all the waves out enough where those wards really become useful.
Yeah, Goomba's had some questionable ward. I think this one ward up here is okay, but this ward does absolutely nothing, and...
What do you do even if you see someone there? You have to, like, already anticipate them being there, have the familiars waiting, TP in the Tinker, and someone else probably has to be there to get a kill.
I guess they're kind
Too
of
many, like,
semi...
ifs and...
They're semi-protect the Tinker wards, like if he's TPing to these lanes to like push him out or whatever, but that's... it only applies to one lane and only like a small portion of the lane, so...
It's a, I mean, it's a great ward if they have their tier 1 up, of course,
Yes.
and you're still trying to take that. But at this stage of the game,
Is under attack.
I would agree it's not really ideal.
So BKB up as well as the Aegis for a boss, which only has like a short duration left on them, so they're trying to
That's what that
at
wispy
least
glow
force out
around
a
the
T2
tower
tower
means.
with it. From Cooper's point of view, they don't have any real incentive to defend this tower, I think.
Uh-oh. Where are you going,
Yeah.
Jakiro? He used that medallion. Big mistake.
I don't know.
Punished.
They shouldn't try to defend that anyways. Fighting into the Aegis was never going to work for them. Even pre-Dendi BKB. And Dendi now has his BKB. They also found the Familiars. Deja vu from top lane as they get the kill on the Visage and follow up with
Radiant's top
Familiars.
tower is under attack.
This Visage has been a bountiful source of gold for Navi.
Yeah.
What's his score? I feel like he's been dying quite a bit here.
He's 2-4.
That's not too bad. He does have his eggs.
He's actually
Familiars are not
farm.
that useful against the Drow is the main issue. She's just really tanky in terms of her armor and, well, at least when the Elder Titan's not there. And more importantly, she just destroys Familiars, so.
So Navi looking pretty good. They've turned around their early game XP deficit and are up by 10k XP. Gold pretty good as well. Phoenixon especially.
I just can't believe how far ahead Vavost is.
Yeah.
18k net worth. This guy is ungodly fat.
His farming routines and efficiency is just fantastic here. They're going to catch the Vengeful Spirit, who's just kind of alone at bottom lane. They were kind of setting up for, I think, for like a core hero there, hoping that someone like Storm or Drow would come farm, but not the case. Drow actually TP top, and this is going to be maybe a tier 2 for tier 2 trade.
Yeah, they're going to work on that tier 2 bottom on the side of Goomba. Meanwhile, for Navi, as you mentioned, pushing in top hard and fast with a vote. And his 18k net worth just kind of showing off at this point. 5.6k in the bank. Time to pick up that next big item. Anything he wants, really.
They're going to be getting this tier 2 point, it looks like. I think they realize, crap, we got to defend. Havos, if he even gets like one Mask of Madness duration attacking our tower, it's probably dead.
Yeah, no glyph, as you mentioned.
And Havos has bought something big.
Something on the courier. The evasion will still be really nice, even though he won't have any armor.
Is Luna really right-clicking him, though? I don't think Luna's
It's
man-fighting
the
this Drow.
familiars, mainly, I would say. But then again, you can just man up and try and kill those.
Two-shot of familiar, I think, at this point.
Flutter away, dude. Just flutter away.
It helps him farm and push. I think it's one of the better damage items.
And I actually think Flutter is really nice on Drow, because you've got a lot of ways to disable a Blink Dagger, but you Flutter Mask Menace, you have to be 522 at that point.
This is how he stays like on top of the farm. You use this just to go from camp to camp and be more efficient. 419, and then Mask of Madness will get him up to like 470, 480 maybe.
Van Score chilling in the bottom lane, and here comes your rotation. They have that lane ward. Like, this is where that ward could maybe be useful, but they just don't know what's behind it.
For over 1k, oh my gosh.
I don't think you can go on him. Can they even chain stun him down? There's not with the Venge there. You always have the defensive swap.
Venge is so under-leveled that Vangscore went to the max aura.
They're ready. That's not going to happen. This could go very poorly if they stick around. Havos has the BKB. He's going to pop it. Shreds the Luna onto Arman. Brings him down too. Your Ogre tries to turn tail and run. That's a triple. 4 no longer. Havos is back in business. Meanwhile, Dendi looking for another kill. He'll jump over the top. Brings down Gasha's Visage as well. And
yeah.
They get nothing. Nice swap there, though. Without that,
and
they might have been able to chain stun him.
I've also immediately killed the creep that Tinker was TPing onto as well. So Tinker's TPing got cancelled. I think it could have maybe killed like the Venge there. I don't think there was killing a BKB Drow Ranger, but it was still a nice little play.
Tinker probably would have died if he came in. Like, maybe you get, as you mentioned, you get the Venge.
Insta-blinked, I guess.
Well, maybe, I don't know if you get the kill then.
Yeah,
could be insta-blinked.
So we'll see Navi now looking to poke around at this high ground here. Dendi's in position for a zip-in and has a gem BKB ready to go. Ideal targets is Tinker, but I don't know if you're going to get your hands onto him.
Yeah, I think if you're Navi, maybe just wait for that Aegis for Havos. Or maybe you just go now onto Arman. Only a 2-hero takedown.
Find the kill, get out of there, because Drow Ranger's already gone somewhere else to go farm.
They just don't have great lockdown for the Storm. I mean, we mentioned where later on in the game, when the BKB durations wear down, if Goomba are more farmed and can kind of tank that initial jump, then they can blow Navi up. But with BKB still being fairly healthy, and with just not having enough farm on their Tinker, I mean, he's 11.9k net worth at 30 minutes. That's just so poor. It's a new era. I don't know what your expected farm rate for a Tinker is, because we just don't see him very much. But
I think
it's just every Tinker game I've seen, this is kind of where he ends up, like the middle of the net worth charts, not really dominant, not split pushing that great. The Storm pick is part of the reason, but
the plan seemed to be to play him more as like the space-creating Janker while Luna farm, but Luna has been just kind of dismal as far as like finding places to farm, going from neutral camp to neutral camp, doing like what Havos has been doing. Havos knows how to farm and farm damn fast, but
I mean, if you wanted that, why not get like a Puck, which can actually kill the Storm much more reliably early on.
And create a lot better space for you, and like pose a threat of killing the Storm, and that means Luna can farm a lot safer. But
I mean, at the same time, give Denny his credit. He crushed 1v1 in that matchup, and he did have the Drow aura for some bonus damage, but still, you're blinded half the time. So
Sonic's picking up a Perseverance, so likely Refresher Axe ulti. Could just be a Lincoln Sphere, but I like to think he's going Refresher. And they're just sieging 2 lanes. They have Jakiro bottom, Havos mid lane is already taking down the T3 tower, and They're going to try block Dendy. He gets swapped out. Gibson trying to get the BKB off. Insta-kill on the Tinker. The nice Ursula from the Elder Titan, but Dendy still willing to man up. May need to zip to the low
Look at how
ground.
boast he's godlike. Give him another triple. Racks are going down. It's going to be a 4 for nothing. Boom. It's his magic number. GG. There's your Yule's Eclipse.
He's just going to try and man fight the Luna. He'll come out on top. It's a Rampage. Avos says it's too
Avos is
easy.
coming back. Take that, Navi haters. Greater than 4 this game.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to see him finally having a decent game.
He learned from S4 last game. S4 who was crushing it up and going beyond godlike on Zeus. This time around it's the 4 himself.